In this video, we're going to take a closer look on how to make a shelter for yourself when you're out in the forest or out in the wild and you need to spend the night. In one of my recent videos, I spent the night out in the forest, and I would like to take this as an opportunity to talk a bit about my setup and share some of my thoughts and ideas behind it. There is, of course, countless ways to set up tarp shelters and make bushcraft camps, and I am by no means an expert. But I have used this setup for several years and had it for so many trips, and it works great for me in my reenactment. So I'm just sharing the experiences that I have made with my own setup. In reenactment, sometimes it makes sense to imagine a plausible situation to help you reflect on how to solve certain problems, or to help you discover what you might have had at hand. And since there is no evidence of tarp shelters or tarps, or barely even tents from the Viking time period, we have the choice to be curious and creative within a certain set of terms. I have been playing around with the idea of using a sail as a tarp. The sail would have given you wings on the sea and helped you be able to travel into far-off places. And being such a highly valuable item, I have been playing around with the idea of the Vikings being able to take their sail with them when they left the boat on the shore to venture deeper inland. And then maybe the sail could have provided shelter. That is, of course, speculation in its finest form. But that's some of the reflections I have been doing when I made this setup that you're going to see here. The sail, the sleeping furs, the blankets and extra clothes is rolled tight into what is called a bedroll. The bedroll is strapped down with rope, and extra gear can be stuffed under the wrappings, and a simple piece of rope or leather will function great as a handle either for the hand or to sling it over your shoulder. The sail can be set up as a tarp shelter in many different ways. I prefer to extend a piece of rope tight between two trees and simply hang the sail over it. In this way it can be a simple A-shaped tent, or one side can be kept open with sticks and branches. Depending on the wind, the corners can be strapped down as needed, and like that this setup is quite versatile. I have been working on this setup for many years, where as much as possible of the gear list is based on archaeological finds from the Viking Age. From clothing to cooking gear, containers, backpack, and the only modern thing you will find is the camera. It is very immersive and it works for all seasons and weathers. The only variables is the amount of bedding material under you, the number of woolen layers on your body, and how hard it is to light a fire, and how big a part of the day you need to spend to make firewood for the night. Let's have a look on a trip I made quite some years ago when I was a bit younger with my good friend Magnus. It was freezing cold and very damp, but we made great memories. Sometimes you don't even need a shelter at all. But while picking mushrooms and preparing a lovely meal in the middle of the pine forest in October with my good friend Brian, we simply used our tarps and blankets to provide shelter from the wind, to make a cozy sense of confinement and comfort in our forest floor kitchen. My two good friends, Mads and Robert, and myself went into the forest in January one time. It was insanely cold, and that is one of the only times I did not sleep warm. A huge pile of branches, reindeer fur, woolen blankets, woolen sleeping bag, and a small fire next to me for the most part of the night. We experimented with different ways of carrying our gear and hiked for several hours before setting camp around midday, and we spent all the hours of daylight left toiling to cut down trees and procure enough firewood for the night. With our bodies aching from the hard labour, we finally sat down by the fire when the evening came, and we enjoyed good food and fine friendship. I think it's a very basic human thing that even out in the wild and in new and unknown places, we have a strong urge to make camp. It can be a real big camp with sails and tents or deflector walls for the fire, or even just a small fur that you sit on and a stack of firewood by your side. Just think about going to the beach. I think we all bring a big towel or a blanket that we lay out flat on the sand, and then that's our little neck of the woods. It's home for a while. I believe that this is instinct and need to settle down and feel like home. And I think it's a good feeling, and with very basic things we can obtain this feeling almost anywhere. So this wraps up the story of the Viking sailor using his sail as a tarp shelter on an inland journey. In our reenactment group, we use an actual sail from a boat as a big shelter for up to 40 or 50 people. So it is possible for a whole boat crew of Viking warriors to camp under the sail from the longboat. If that was the case back in the time, we simply cannot know. And that leaves us with a difficult choice. Do we make qualified guesses, or do we simply walk away due to the lack of evidence? I am no one to judge, but this was an example on how I tried to visualize some aspects of everyday Viking life. So thanks a lot for sticking around till the end, and thank you for wanting to come along on these adventures I did with my friends in the past. We learn every time, and we come home with new ideas to optimize the gear and make everything work better, and we are eager to get back out again. I will see you soon for a new adventure, and in the meantime I strongly encourage you to get out there yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, click the little like button, hit the notification bell, and feel free to leave a comment or ask me questions about what you saw in this video. And I will get back to you and try to answer to the best of my ability. Because it really helps the algorithm to let other people know that you had a good time watching this video. Then YouTube will offer this video to future potential viewers. If you want to support my channel, please consider becoming a Patreon and join a small tight-knit community and get access to bits of exclusive content and early access now and then. If you are new to my videos or you would like to continue watching, I would like to suggest these two videos for you that I think you would find very interesting.